Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclone. Time for our Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. So we're going to head back to the UK for at least this week. I do want to try to finish up the London-Faversham high-speed route if I can. And you might be wondering why I'm back on a 465 when I still got some 466 stuff going on. It's because I'm doing it all this week. So you see there is a career scenario. In fact, there's two career scenarios for the London-Faversham route. I'm going to take a double check of the 466 scenarios tomorrow because I'm going to do the 465 scenario today. I know I have at least a training scenario on the 466. I'm trying to remember if there's an additional scenario on the standard tab that I'm forgetting about. But if not, I've got two career scenarios. I can do the whole thing this week and get it all done if that is the case. So my plan is potentially to do this 465 scenario today. It's an hour. Do a training tomorrow. Do one of these 466 scenarios. I'm probably going to choose a 25-minute one because it's a shorter one to follow the training. And then we have a 30-minute scenario, which would become my Tuesday video in that case. So I'm going to try and do 4 scenarios this week, one of which is a training, and the 2 of which are really small, so it's not too much to work on here. And I think that is something that is manageable. Once I've done that, I'm going to head back to the US and do something else in the US again, I think. I am not losing Germany in my mind as well. I do know of routes like Hamburg, Hanover, Munich to Rosenheim, and places like that I need to visit as well. But I do have a lot of UK stuff, and I have a fair number of US stuff, and I'm downloading lots of US scenarios too. So from the Steam Workshop. So I want to concentrate on that for the time being. One more note about this route. Once I finish doing these scenarios, I may not come back to this route as is. So this may be the last week I actually play this route. What will happen when I come back to this route is I will probably take the St. Pancras and Victoria to Faversham route that's in the workshop. And that is the 2012 version, which is the scenario, the route ID 0066-A000 instead of 0000. So the difference is that there will be a additional segment of route merged with that. And I think it's a combination of Chatham Main Line and London-Faversham high-speed route. In the 2012 format. There's also a 2006 format, which is route B000. C000 happens to be the Medway Valley route. DTG went straight on to that one. And then D000, it takes the 101 route, which is the Dover and Ramsgate route, and it merges that with the London-Faversham section in that route with the Chatham Main Line, the original 66 Chatham Main Line. So there are a lot of route merges out there. Any scenarios on London-Faversham high speed in the future, I probably will put on the 2012 version of the merge. And that is because Rochester and Gravesend are in different positions. So it makes sense to go ahead and use that route because it will also give me a much fuller map and more information shown on the map so you can see where we are on the map. Plus any updates to the scenery. Anything that Danny, who made the route, Danny Leach, may have done with the scenery, he would have that on there as well. He also has a batch of scenarios in the Steam Workshop I am looking at designed for this route that I may actually play on his merge instead. And I may do some other scenarios on the Chatham Main Line if he has any on the merge as well. So I definitely want to take advantage of the Workshop version of the route. For today, though, we are going to look at London-Faversham High Speed's last 465 scenarios. Let's get back down to that. We're going to play the last 465 scenario, Network or Blanket. Again, it is available in both formats, standard and career. We're going to be masochists. We're going to do the career mode because why not? Let's get started. Due to the heavy snowfall, many of the 375 services between Gillingham and Faversham have been delayed or cancelled. Today you will be helping to maintain the service coverage in this area. You will be driving to Faversham and performing a return journey back to Gillingham. Good luck! So that's why it takes an hour. Okay, let's get our train set up for moving. We're going to turn the headlights on. I said we're going to turn the headlights on. Thank you. And I'm trying to think if there's much else to do here. Instrument lights I don't think have anything to do. Nope. I am kicking myself thinking what else I need to do here. I can't think of anything else. Just going to double check my brain here to see if there's anything else I'm forgetting about. It always seems like there's not much to do, and I always forget something. Oh, wipers. That makes sense. Wipers is what I'm thinking about right now, and I just noticed the rain, and that's what I was forgetting about. So here we go. We're going to be on our way in a moment as soon as our signal turns yellow. Now, we do have a task to pick up at Chatham. Note we are not starting at Chatham. So we're going to make our way to Chatham, and that will take care of the problem. We've already got our passengers at Gillingham, which is where I believe we are starting. You can see Chatham is indeed straight ahead. So we are doing a... Whoa, don't speed. So we are doing a back and forth service here. So we have to leave the platform at a 15 mile per hour speed limit, hence my panic thinking I was going to speed. Notice you get up to speed very quickly in this train. After the US trains, I kind of forgot. After that run on Miami West Palm Beach the other day, oh my, that came up to speed fast. That's going to be for what could still be a red signal up ahead, that alert. It might be a yellow by now, but the fact that the train leaving ahead of us is probably making a stop at Chatham means that we probably don't want to speed up yet. We want to be ready to stop on sight of this signal ahead. So let's see what we have up ahead here. It is indeed a red signal. We have to hold our pattern here. So I'd like this train ahead of us to get out of the way as quickly as possible. There's the yellow. So now we are pulling into Chatham proper. We're going to go ahead and just bring this train to a very good slowdown and coast in at a reasonable stopping speed, which should be this one. Now, just in case that panel ahead tries to trigger an emergency brake, I'm trying to bring the speed down a little bit more in advance of the signal than I normally would like to, because the train may go into emergency brake without me intending it. We're in the minute that we have to pick up, and as you can see, this is going to be a very tight timetable. I can already see that if we were to leave and approach the signal at speed limit at the right time, we would actually be doing a lot better scenario-wise so far. But in any case, arrival at Chatham, platform number 2. Leaving Chatham. Our next stop is Gillingham. Now you notice that the sign in front did say Faversham, so yeah, I actually started at a spot where I did not think we were. We started at Rochester, so I got that a little mixed up. We started at Rochester, we went to Chatham, now we're going through a couple tunnels to get to Gillingham. And I think our service is stopping... No, we're going to Rainham. We're going to continue to Rainham at Newington. Yeah, we are going all the way to Faversham. So I thought we were going in the other direction for some reason. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. So after we get to Faversham right here, we're going to turn around. We're going to head back towards Gillingham. But we're not going to continue to Rochester, which is where we started this scenario. So I had my direction mixed up. We are going in the direction of Faversham. Hence the sign on the train is correct. And I need to... learn my directions a little better on this route, apparently. So we're going to go up to 50 miles per hour. Now, if you knew how I started today's scenario, you would know that I'm having a bad day. We're not going to talk about that. I'll leave that one for the blooper reel. So you can see trains coming in. That is a train heading for London Bridge. So the trains in this scenario are all named. There is apparently a signal up ahead. It is a yellow signal, so I'm not going to panic too much. The next signal is quite a ways away, so I can proceed. Oh, it's a double yellow anyway, so that's even better. It might just upgrade while I wasn't looking. So the signal at the end of the Gillingham platform is a red signal. We have a yellow signal entering Gillingham at this time. Since the train, that means the train likely just left, I think we're going to have no problem with our stop, which is due at 9:08. Since I did have the timetable up for a moment, let's review our stops quickly, because I have a moment here. We're going to continue to Rainham at 9:12, 9:17 for Newington, and then Sittingbourne at 9:22, Teynham at 9:27, and finally at 9:33 we arrive at Faversham, platform number 4, I think that said. So that is our initial itinerary. We're going to look at the return trip a little closer as we go on the return. That should be a yellow, yes it is. We have a whole minute to make our stop, so I'm just going to go ahead and coast in properly here. That's our warning for what is now a yellow signal. It was a red signal. Okay, we're going to bring that train to a full stop now. And there is our arrival at Gillingham, platform number 3, right on time. Leaving Gillingham, our next stop is Rainham. You may have noticed that there is a bit of a lag on the passenger doors closing before the brakes will fully release and you can take off. I thought something might have been wrong for a second, so I went to cut the throttle back down to 0 to reset, and it actually tried to take off for a second there. So it's just a delay. You can keep the throttle up when it's safe to go. The train will go for you. Approaching a 90-mile-per-hour speed limit. One more thing you may have noticed as well, we're only getting 90 points for each stop. And I also made a discovery as I was on the intermission there during the stop. I'm going to hold my speed for a moment while I come up to the 90 here. This should be good, actually. You're going to notice I have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sittingbourne doesn't count. 8, 9 stops, and the last passenger stop at Gillingham also for some reason does not count. There's only 990 points in this scenario. Another case of the full score not being possible, hence everyone scoring 1,000 has basically broken the game. So there you go. It's another case of the scenario not being properly set up for today's train simulator and leaderboard. And people do it anyway. I have not edited this scenario, so I'm going to get the 990, but if I want to, again, I could go back and rescore this. Doing 91 points per stop, and that would be a full 1,001 points possible. You can do that, simply extract the scenario. Actually, no, this is an existing live scenario, so all you have to do is really go into the scenario, edit 90 to say 91 in the arrival points, and you got it done. You can get 1,000 points. It's that easy to change the scenario. I have already started playing the scenario. I'm not going to do it now, but you can do that. Keep in mind, though, that because that would then be a changed file, if you ever verify your game, the 90-point version scenario will be re-downloaded and reinstalled. So keep in mind that if you change the scenario, you want to probably back up the original and put the original back at some point as well. Since this one's not an AP file, you actually have to edit the direct file. And it is a career scenario, so you can't edit directly in the game, but you can edit it in the Windows. That's not a problem. You can edit in Windows. I slowed down a little too early. I think our arrival time is 9:12 and 50 seconds. Since we're at the back end of a minute on this stop, we have to stop as close to on time as possible or earlier. Otherwise, we will be marked as late, which, with a maximum score not possible, is a bad thing. Be careful not to push the brake accidentally into the 100%. I believe the emergency brake locks into place as soon as you hit it, so you want to make sure you don't go all the way up to 100% brake. There is a stop car marker right there. That is the... Is that 4-6? I'm an 8, so I want to technically keep going, but I also have to keep in mind my timetable. So I'm just going to go ahead. That is actually my stop board right there. So I'm chancing to move up a little bit, but I need to make my stop now. So let's get that stop made. Arrival at Rainham, platform number 2. Leaving Rainham. Our next stop is Newington. Leaving at a 90 mile per hour speed limit. Check that, 80 mile per hour speed limit as we leave the platform area. And there is another footbridge that is not on the station itself. So it's a footbridge on the other side of the station, of the access road. And that's the way that passengers can cross over if they are not, wheelchair bound. Which is a big thing for any new stations nowadays. If you're seeing a new station in the UK, typically it's going to be wheelchair accessible for, in most cases. It might be the odd one out in the boonies that might not, but typically they try to build all stations wheelchair accessible these days. So... Also, I saw a piece of information recently that the Marsh Barton station opened on July 4th, the American Independence Day. And apparently there's another one opening this month, and I don't know the information on that. But I know the Marsh Barton is on the Riviera line near Starcross. And as a result, I fully expect VHBP will probably have a Marsh Barton station added to it sometime in the near future. So... I'm going to have to see if we can take another run on the Riviera, because I do have some other scenarios on the Riviera line. I'll have to see if I can take another run on the Riviera and locate the building where the station would be, so I can tell you where that station is located. It is a huge building that kind of looms over the station from one side. So if I can see that building on a run, I can show you where Marsh Barton Station roughly is, which would be kind of a neat little thing for me to be able to find out in a 2014 version of the route. That was the Are You Awake alarm, the driver vigilance alarm. If you don't touch the controls for a minute, you get to respond to that alarm. You are required to touch controls once a minute. The train is very touchy-feely. 9:17 and 25 seconds is our due time at Newington. We have a minute and a half to make that stop, which should be plenty of time, because I am going over a mile a minute right now, so... we will be there within a minute. Of course, we have to stop, which is part of the factor as well. You notice I didn't increase the speed anymore once I saw Newington coming up. There was no point, I decided. And with the snow falling, I don't want a chance to slip on the line, a wheel slip. We're already going to have a easy enough break from where we are. I'm fine with that. Okay, we're going to take the throttle, or the brake to off right now, so I can pull in fully into the station. More important to get the entire train in than it is to necessarily hit the stop marker, but the stop marker I think is the end of the platform anyway, so we can go ahead and brake fully right here at the signal. Stop right there. Ooh, that was close. Arrival at Newington, platform number 2. Leaving Newington, our next stop is Sittingbourne. Leaving at a speed limit of 70 miles per hour. I'm bumping that speed and the throttle, I should say, and then thus the speed up a little quicker now. I want to put a few miles on before we get going. In fact, in the 375, I believe it is, or it might be something else, but I think it is the 375, maybe the 377 as well. You actually have to bring the train up to 5 miles per hour before moving to second level, or you actually get wheel slip because the wheels are going too fast in snowy conditions. And the train actually gives you instructions on that, which is actually very neat. I didn't see that the first time I drove whatever that train was, and I learned the hard way. It might not be the 375. I think it's the other train that comes with the route, the 466. I want to say it is. I think it's the 466. So I find it neat the train does include those instructions to tell you, hey, this is why you're getting wheel slip, dude. I read that and I understood. And there's the wake up alarm. We are due at 9:22 and 29 seconds at Sittingbourne. We are a little over 2 miles away, about 2 1/4. I have hit mile-a-minute territory and beyond, so we are going to be there in plenty of time. Actually, not really. We have to actually get beyond the 60 here, or we're going to have a chance of being late. So let's put a little extra speed on right now. Get up to 80 miles per hour in a moment. As we cross into that right now, we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that for just a moment. And then we will have to slam those brakes. There's our alert that we have a possibly adverse signal. No, that's for the 70. I missed a crossing, but I hit that whistle board, so we're good on that. So I'm trying to hold my speed here for the moment. I'm losing it way too fast, so I'm going to keep the speed on for a while here. Running downhill, we're actually losing some decent speed. That's what the adverse signal was for the line going off. We, of course, don't take that because that line ends. So that's a 70 warning that we do not ever have to pay heed to. Unless for some reason we're taking a journey that goes to a waypoint that is marked there and then the scenario ends. That could be one that we have to pay attention to. I'm not sure if there's actually a waypoint that exists there, to be honest. And I think that line that left actually goes to a high-speed line as well, so it actually reconnects to high-speed 1, the line that goes to Ashford International. I may be mistaken, it's just based on my memory. And my memory is not perfect. So you have plenty of time to make this stop. I'm just going to bring the speed down to 15 and coast in. Because it's a big platform, I have the extra space to do so. Looking for a stop board marker. And with the whole train almost in the platform, I can put a little more brake on now. That'll do. Let's look for our stop board indicator here. We have 20 seconds to do that. And to come to a stop. That is the one right there. I saw the 8 on it. That was my stopboard marker. A little too fast by it. That's fine, though. Arrival at Sittingbourne, platform at number 2. Leaving Sittingbourne, our next stop will be Teynham. I'm not sure if I've stopped at this station yet. This might be my first stop here. So this is literally an all stops scenario here, at least on this part of it. But not so much on the return trip, I don't think. There's what I think is a siding. I think those are sidings they're linking to us. So 80 miles per hour is our speed limit. We have 2 3/4 miles to go, and this is going to be a tighter stop. So we need to get up to the full speed limit. We have 3 full minutes to make the stop, though, which, if we can get up to our 80 mile per hour speed limit, is plenty of time. We might be okay as long as we're above 60, though, but I don't like taking chances, unless I'm very confident. And besides, we have a chance to go to the speed limit. There is Teynham, so we could cut it off technically if we wanted to at this point. I choose not to. It is 75 at the platform. If we're going 75 at that point, there's a serious problem. That's all I'm going to say. We're not going to get to 80, but we did make our best effort to do so. In fact, we are losing speed. Ooh, I didn't expect that. Wow, we are losing speed. Very interesting. So let's take the power back off now that I know our train doesn't want to behave on speed limits. That's probably a warning for the 75, which 5 mile per hour drop, I'm actually surprised it's a warning, but it does. So I'm letting the speed come down gently. We do have plenty of time now to make this stop. And in fact, I'm going way too slow now, so I'm putting some power back on for a moment. We're still got plenty of time, but we don't want to come in that slowly. We gave the horns, so they better be paying attention to the fact we're here if they're on the crossing. There you go. And I'm coming in way too fast now. So from way too slow to way too fast. I don't want to trigger any kind of wheel slip again, but I'm going to have to actually come to a stop here, which is... There we go. That's much better. So we can bring that back. I'm fully in the platform. Where is my stop indicator? I expect it soon, so... Is it the end of the platform? It's the end of the platform, isn't it? Yeah, it's just a station stop at the end of the platform. But you know what? Stop the train here. Arrival at Teynham, platform number 2. Let's zoom out. Leaving Teynham. We are 4 miles from our final stop of this particular service at Faversham, but not the end of the scenario. For we are going to be reversed out in the other direction, meaning I'm going to have to change cabs and see if I can figure out how to change the destination board on this thing, because as you can see, it is marked Faversham. Can you change that? I have no idea how to change that. Okay, we're going to just go with, no, I can't change that for now. So it's going to say Faversham on the return journey, hilariously. Guys, unless I can figure out something in the time that I change ends that will allow me to change that. 85 mph speed limit coming up, followed by a 90. This is the area with 4 different speed limits, so yeah. I think once again we're not going to be able to get up to the 80 because this train gave me a problem with 75 in this weather, so or maybe 75 is my top speed. I'm having issues getting to 73 now. There you go. So we're on an uphill as well, which is also working against us. I should add that. Perfect time to get a 90 when you're on a huge uphill. Very good. That benefits the other direction a little bit more when you're in the 90. But you go to a 75 anyway, which means I'm already approaching our speed limit. There's a 60 up ahead. We're getting warnings for the reduced speed limit, which we didn't really need in the first place. We didn't need any increase at all. We're going to hit this downhill, and I'm actually going to be curious to see if we can actually break 75 on this. Based on that increase, I'm going to say yes. There's Faversham up ahead. That is the end of our route in the programmed route in this game. Another good reason to change ends because we can't go any further. I mean, we can. There's a junction beyond there, but we're not going to be able to go to any stations beyond that junction, as I don't believe they're drawn in on this route. They are drawn in on both routes on the actual published version going to Dover and Ramsgate. Lots of stations added to the Chatham main line. We have to get our speed down to 15, so we're going to go ahead and just ignore this 60, and we're just going to worry about the 15. Our due time at Faversham is 9:33 and 56 seconds. Seriously, why would you set up a time like that? Why would you do that? We've been early on our stops anyway. We are within a mile, so with 2 minutes to go, we are doing very well for the stop. We just have to get our speed down to 15 in time. I took it down to 40 and sat there for a while, but now I'm going to go ahead and put a heavy brake on and get ourselves down to 15 in time. This should be good enough for a slow brake now. Going to hold there because they can come in a little too slow now. And back on. And on in time. Perfect. So we're now at 15 exactly, and I'm slightly early on that. About 0.03 of a mile out from where I need to be on that. In fact, it actually took effect before I crossed the sign, so it's a good thing I was down to it early. It took effect before the sign. So now I am junctioning into Faversham platform number 4. We have a full minute remaining to make our stop, but we're already at the platform. This bodes well. Gonna flick the headlights off because we don't need them on this side anymore. We're stopping the train. In reality, I think you're supposed to turn them off after you come to a stop and go to change ends, but we're in a simulator that where things can happen very quickly and you're not given the time to actually do the proper setup. So whereas you might sit at the station for 5 minutes in real life, you only have a minute to do things in this game. So we will cut corners. Wipers are going to go off. I said wipers are going to go off. We have a green, which is pointless. We're going to change ends. So let's open the doors here at Faversham, platform number 4. We'll get ready to change ends in a moment. Alright, so I brought up the HUD to change ends. We're going to put the reverser into 0. We're going to keep this brake, well, not necessarily an emergency, but we're going to leave it a good brake power. We're going to go to the other side of the train. We're going to turn our wipers on. We're going to put the reverser up. We're going to say okay to that. Let's do that. And headlights are going to go on, and we are good to go on this side. As soon as we are told to go, we're going to be heading off to Teynham once again, and then back to Sittingbourne, stopping there for a while apparently after we pick up passengers. I'm not sure why, and we'll look at the rest in a moment. So it's time to make your way back to Gillingham. You'll need to change cabs for your return journey. I am way ahead of you, script. Goodbye. And we already have our green signal to leave, so we have been given express clearance to get the heck out of here. Again, not realistic to real life at all. Don't expect that to happen in real life. Usually there are a lot of other trains on the line and they need the line too, so... I actually considered going through the green on the other side, just for fun. I considered it. Just to add something to the blooper reel, but no. I'm going to play it properly. I put a save game there. It would be fun to actually see what happens. I mean, we're going to crash into a buffer if we do that, but it'd be fun to do it. We're now in a 25 section here. This is because we have a junction between the two main lines. That is a 25 speed limit. As we're speeding up at this point, we're okay with that. But we will hold at 25 until we are fully off the junction. We are now entering the 75. We've just been given access to the 60. So we're going to start bringing the speed up. We'll be not even near the 60 by the time we're fully in the 75. So we're just going at full throttle now. And there's a 75 at about 39 miles per hour. We're now on our way. So let's check that again since we got interrupted with the task completion. We're going to Teynham for 9:39, which we're going to be there. Oh, 9:39:58. Come on, what's with these times, guys? Then we have Sittingbourne at 9:45 and change. We're going to stay there for a while, apparently. So after we pick up passengers, we have a stop task right there at the platform, which is hilarious. We're then going to continue to Newington for another stop task. We're going to continue to Rainham, and then we have to go to Gillingham and not have a point count for the last stop, which is kind of funny. I don't know why that is, but we can just take our time getting to Gillingham. Maybe there's a huge slowdown and they don't time us. I don't know. We'll find out. Quiet. They're entering an 85 mile per hour section, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep a small throttle on for now. I'm going to pump it back up to 100 once we are on the downhill. In fact, there's not really much point to even do that because there's the station anyway, and we're probably going to have trouble with 75, so it doesn't really matter. So here we go, full throttle now to see what we can do. For the first time today, I'm at 76 miles per hour, and it dropped immediately from 76. Okay, I think we have a 75 to 76 point that the train tries to enforce, or when you get into a certain speed, it tells you can't go any faster. So, yeah, it's making me brake. I don't know why, but it's making me brake. Maybe once you hit a certain speed, the train forces you to slow down. That's my best guess. This is going to cause me to look at the manual for the train, which is on the iPad in front of me. I'm going to actually see if the top speed is 75 miles per hour. That is my guess as to what is happening here. I don't know if that was a whistleboard or a speed thing, but we're going to blow the horn anyway. It does not look like it was whistleboard. Okay, we're going to keep the... Oh, no, 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 no. Don't be like this. I have to screech this train to a halt to be on time. This is a little antsy. I don't like this. Okay, we're going to be screeching this thing down in a hurry. I'm going to ignore that whistleboard for right now. I think I can get it down in time. I can definitely get this down in time. So there is our 10-car marker. I actually passed the 8-car marker, apparently. And arrival at Teynham, that should be right on time. We were indeed on time, leaving Teynham. Our next stop is Sittingbourne. Looks like we're going to be just on time for this one too, by the looks of it, based on that ETA. So we're going to go up to full throttle now, because we do have our speed limit within this area, I believe. In fact, I believe our train speed limit is in this area, because as I go to look at the information for the train, it is actually telling me, when I get to the specifications, that the train speed limit is indeed 75 miles per hour. You are not allowed to take this train beyond 75 miles per hour. So when we see an 80, 85, 90, that basically means 75 miles per hour. Now, of course, any 395 coming through the area can go to 90 miles per hour, but when you're in a 465, you are not doing that. And that 9 is only in a couple brief areas anyway. Bye. So just to make sure I don't lose control over my speed, I'm going to actually not cut it above 75. I'm going to stay in the 75 to 76 range if I can. That way I don't have the train start to cut my speed on me. So I'm going to just cut the throttle back down here. I'm going to hold it. I want to leave it in this area if I can. Because if I hit 76, it's going to try and drain 3 right off my speed right there. At least that's the experience I've had a couple times already in this scenario. The train knows its limits. Hello, neighbor. The ETA has improved for me, so I should be doing very well for time now. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some brakes on here. Starting with a minimal brake. 34% is, I believe, the first level. Yeah, you can't get below 34% brake. There you go. That is your minimum level of brake. For a first level brake, it's not too bad. We're going to put a second level on to get a little more speed off quickly here. Going to keep the minimal on to get ourselves down to 30 before the platform, if possible. We might be slightly above that coming in. No, we're at 30. Entering the platform. Let's take a little speed off now that we're in the platform. And I'm going a little slowly now, so let's watch for our train to be fully in. We should be getting close to that. We are fully in. Now I want to find the stop car marker. That was a 4. That is a 6 and an 8. So I want to stop right about here, I think. An arrival at Sittingbourne. We're going to have to wait for a minute here, it looks like. There has been a commotion at Sittingbourne and the station staff are attending. The signal center has been contacted and you are to remain in the platform until further notice. Oh, you jerks. Okay. Who's the jerk? Who's the jerk? Who's caught? Let's see what's going on here. Who's... Oh, cleared for departure. A passenger slipped on the edge of the platform and has been treated for shock. Head office are aware of the impact timetable, but do your best to pick up the delay. Roger. So we are going to move. So if you just instinctively hit the brake or the throttle on to be ready to depart and you forget to pull it off, your train may start taking off while you are expected to be stopped. It's kind of one of those things you get in the habit of doing something, but here's something to throw a wrench in that habit. You have to do things properly. Leaving Sittingbourne, our next stop is Newington. Speed limit for us is 75 miles per hour. We have plenty of time to arrive at Newington. They're trying to suggest we have an impacted timetable, which makes sense, but because the in-game score would not be compatible with that, we're being treated as having a proper timetable here for the circumstances. So you heard and saw and now see the flashing double yellow signal. We're going to be changing tracks at a 70 mile per hour speed limit. Not right here. There's actually going to be a lower speed limit up ahead, I think. So this might be related to our stop at Rainham where we finished this scenario. Or no, we finished at Gillingham, but it might be related to our stop at Rainham. Pretty sure I saw that whistle board. So 70 is our limit. Let's not push it here. We're going to stay at 69 for now. 68. Another whistle board. There is our single flashing yellow. So I'm thinking the change in the signal, or the signal line might be, I'm not sure if it's before or after Newington, but there's only 2 tracks here. I imagine it might be after Newington to get over to a line to finish at Gillingham. Maybe we're going to be wrapping our service early there for whatever reason. I know it says Faversham on the train. I mean, disregard that. It says Faversham. Oh, it changed to Gillingham. I did not even notice. Okay, cool. It did that. It does that automatically. I didn't know the train did that. Cool. I did not do that. Totally honest, I did not do that. That was not the plan. I did not know that happened automatically. I'm actually surprised by that. So here comes our line change signal. So we're going to change lines before the next signal is what I can tell you here. It's to the left. So we're actually going to have our platform 1 is to the left of where we are. I don't see any speed limit indicated, so I'm just going to go ahead and slow down in preparation for the platform. Normally I missed a whistle board. I'm actually going way too slow right now, but we are far enough away, or at least close enough I should say, that it should not affect us. We have 2 minutes. So it's actually better that I slow down, because we don't want to be too early. That's the one thing I can tell you, we don't want to be too early. We have to sit there all that time. Good gosh. Now we can hit the brakes. Yeah, 70. No change in speed limit. Let's put some brakes on here. Ah, the platform is on the outside. That's why the lane changed. Got it. So there is a through lane in the middle of Newington. Because not everyone stops here. Makes sense. There's our 6, so the 8's got to be coming up. I did not want that much brakes on. Good thing that was not close to the emergency brake level. That might have been a problem. That was the 8 car marker, so I am bringing the train to a stop here. And this is arrival at Newington, platform number 1. Leaving Newington, our final career point stop is at Rainham. Not the final stop of our day, however. And I'm not sure why we didn't get a point stop at Gillingham. So the speed limit on the line conveniently is 75 miles per hour, but because we are getting to the area where we intersect with the high-speed line, the speed limits are going to go down. So we are going to be going down to a 60. We can take advantage of some speed for right now, though, so let's do it. Which means I'm going to go full throttle. There's Rainham coming into distance, into view rather, at the end of the HUD right now. We're going to come down to 60 by that point anyway, for slowdown purposes. Of course, we know we have to be down there for speed limit as well. So half a mile out, I don't mind being at 60. Oh, that's too much brake. Let's just let it come down naturally. Sorry, I hit the underside of my desk there if you heard a noise. Getting a warning that should be for the speed reduction. There's the warning for the 60. So now we'll bring it down. Just a little bit. Knowing the other one went into effect early, I think I'm going to want this one down before a 1/10 of a mile out as well. So we are going to try and do that. Actually, we are down. Never mind. We are down. It is 90 again at the platform, or for us 75. But of course, we better not be going 60 at that point anyway. Be a little silly if we were doing that. We're doing a minute and a half. Lots of time. I had too much brake going there, so I have removed some of that brake. We're going to try to play our way into our stop sign area here for the 8 car marker. Which means put a little more brake power on now that we came in at 30. We're down to 20. That's the 3 and the 4. We're not fully in yet, so we don't have to worry about the marker yet. That's 6. And as we pass the 6, we are now almost fully in. We are fully in. So the 8 is the next number up ahead. We're going to stop at that. There it is. That'll do. Close enough. Arrival at Rainham, platform number 1. leaving Rainham, our final stop is Gillingham. And as I noted, there's no points up for grabs on it. We've got all our career points for the scenario. We cannot get 1,000 points on this scenario. Legally. We can edit the file again and get our 1,000 points that way, but legally we cannot change it. Or we cannot edit it. We cannot get it, rather. Legally. But at this point, the career scoring is so broken that there's no point even looking at that. So again, the points don't matter. One day I'll go back and clear all those scenarios just because. Why not? Yep. That is good. So we don't have to actually worry about a specific stopping point here, or stopping time. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and relax on this last leg of the journey as we pull into Gillingham to finish our service. We are 2 miles away from Gillingham. The speed limit coming up is 60 miles per hour. I might as well stay under that now. I mean, I don't have to rush. There's no one's time to rush. On the standard version of the scenario, by the way, if you have all the check marks, because in my case I would because I was on time for every stop. If you have all the check marks, that would be what constitutes a pass on the scenario. So if you are even 1 second off on any of the stops, at least according to the game, then you would get an X on that task and you would fail the scenario. At least in the career scenario, you still pass with a certain score and get a star as a result. You don't even get the check mark in a standard scenario if you miss one stop, even by a little bit. That's the reason I always like career scenarios better. I just wish they were scored properly. And in some cases, timetabled properly. That's all. So I mentioned in the intro, I've been looking at using the 2012 version of the merge with the Chatham main line and the Faversham route. And again, the route A000 and route B000 are different in that aspect. B000 is the 2016 version, which has the newer version, or the newer spot for Rochester, and I think Gravesend. I'm not sure if Gravesend's on that route. Yeah, it has to be, because Faversham's on there. So it would have the Faversham on there as well with the 2016 location of everything. Or at least, maybe for at least Rochester anyway. I'm not sure about Gravesend. But I am looking at the 2012 version of the merge for use in the future for scenarios involving the Class 465 on this route, and also, coincidentally, on the Chatham main line. So we'll see what happens with that as we go on. I will look into doing that route merge and doing any workshop scenarios on that route merge. So what will happen is I may go ahead and just create a playlist for the 2012 version of the merge, and that will become the playlist for all workshop scenarios. I'm not going to continue to use this playlist. I will for now for the 466, and if I see anything else specific that I think is best left on this route. But other than that, I'm probably not going to use this playlist after I'm done with the 466. So just be heads up, this will probably be the first complete playlist on the channel. Besides Glasgow Subway, make that the second completed playlist. Glasgow Subway is a completed playlist. Though I could do a workshop scenario or two, it is otherwise complete. So let's look for our 8-car stop marker here as we finish up. That looks like a platform number, not a stop board. That's the stop at the station platform, and we have a green signal, but we're not going to use it. Hopefully we're still fully on the platform. So we're going to open the doors here at Gillingham, and that will be the end of our service. Let's look at our train. And there it is. Passengers are not disembarking. Was anyone on our train? Was that just a futile effort with no one getting off? Okay, that's interesting. No one's on our train, apparently. Okay, that's the end of the service. We're going to get our 909 points. There's no way around it. You can't get the 1,000 points on this scenario, so that's the end of that. And that we already discussed what I think about that. In any case, great work. You managed to successfully maintain the service for the passengers during this period of adverse weather. Because I'm good. That's all I need to say about that. No, I'm not bragging either. I'm just... Never mind. Forget I said that. In any case, over to the score screen. We'll get our score confirmed. So yeah, there it is. At least it's a gold star for 909 points. That's the good news. Not like that South Wales coastal scenario where you have to have 1,000 for the gold and you can't get 1,000 because the freight train gets to leave ahead of you. Not like that. By the way, I did have someone do a test on that scenario with a different train, and the other train got priority when a new train replaced it. So that was actually possible with a different train. So it's just a priority issue with the train, I think. Kind of funny and sad at the same time how that works out. Go see how the headache I had with trying to rush that train through a signal as it turned green. That was something special right there. But in any case, Networker Blanket CS, or I just refer to it as Networker Blanket, is done. You can't get the 1,000 points. I may hack it in later because, again, I know how to do that. So, not a big deal. Other than that, we're done here. We're going to look at the 466 next time. As promised at the start of this video, we are going to move to the class 466. We are going to look at the sheerness branch with that. So we finally get to see that idyllic little branch. The scenarios are, again, obviously shorter scenarios because the scenarios are probably coming from Faversham. It's possible we might get one coming from Gillingham as well. I'm not sure. Sittingbourne, of course, is in the middle of that branch, so we're probably not going to see Sittingbourne on those scenarios either, because I think it's right in the middle. Might be. Actually, I don't remember. It might actually be on one end. We might actually stop at Sittingbourne. Maybe we do actually. You know what? We'll find out in the future because we have 2 scenarios on that route. So let's go ahead and do that next time. Stay tuned for some Class 466 training on our next video, plus a scenario to go with it. In the meantime, like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Cyclone. Hope you have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever you fit your part of the world. See you next time for the Class 466. Bye-bye.